A lot of car scanners worth getting start at $100 as they have to include a screen, a cable, buttons, and everything else that goes into making a usable device. But what if you're looking to just troubleshoot your own car and you don't need a complicated unit as you would if you were running a shop? Well, this XTOOL AD20 Pro doesn't have a subscription, offers free lifetime updates, and it's a full system scanner for only $40. Let's check it out. Obviously, what makes this unit different is that this is an OBD2 device that just plugs into your car, and then you have to use your phone to do all of the functionality. So it uses your phone for the screen and the buttons and everything else, and you just have to get this tiny device. There is a difference between XTOOL AD20 Pro and the non-Pro. The non-Pro does not allow you to scan all of the modules on the vehicle, only the engine. So it's very important to get the Pro if you want all of the functionality that I'm going to show you today. It's very small, so as you can see, it's a pretty small unit. We also have a small manual included, so this will tell you exactly what this unit can do. And of course, this supports pretty much any vehicle that has OBD2 functionality. Obviously, if the vehicle is newer, it will support a lot more, and if it's older, it may only do like very simple OBD2 functionality. But it does have an ARM Cortex M4 processor in here. Here are some of the protocols that are supported by this device. So depending on the vehicle, it may use a different one. Working voltage 9 to 16, so this will not work on 24-volt vehicles, and it basically doesn't use any current while plugged in, so you can plug it in, basically leave it forever. Here's the QR code to download the app, which I have already done. And then on this side, it kind of tells you how to use the app and how to connect it, and as well a few frequently asked questions. But yeah, that's about it. So let's plug it in and then see what it actually can do. Before we can use this device though, we do have to download this app called the Advancer AD20. So we're gonna open the app and then we have to activate this device. So I'm gonna go to activate paired device, and then we're gonna scan the back. So this has the little QR code that's gonna activate it for us. There it is. Okay, so it's just gonna add this number basically in. We're gonna hit confirm. And now we can plug it into the car. So that's one thing about this device. You do need to provide your email address and create a password so you can activate the app and then activate the device. Something to consider. All right, so I just plugged it in and there you go. It has now successfully connected to the vehicle, and right away it has identified what vehicle I am in. So it's telling me the VIN number and it has the manufacturer and the year. Looks good to me, so I'm just gonna hit pair, confirm. And there you go, we are now fully connected. So it's gonna scan the entire system now and show us what we can actually do on here. Of course, there's a lot to see in this app, but it's just doing the auto scan for us so we can see what actually is happening here. But let's start by going to quick test and then seeing what it will show us for the entire vehicle. So let's let it check. It's checked the voltage, it's 14.5, that looks good. Coolant temperature, 19 degrees, perfect. Engine load, nothing, because we're not driving. Engine revs, also nothing. Remaining fuel, throttle position. So it's getting all of this PID information from the vehicle and showing us all of that here. And then it also shows us what kind of things we can do here. So this is going to be more of a diagnostics type of thing, right? So we have battery check, we can run that. We can do the smog check, Indepth check. So gonna do that one as well, and we can do the OBD fault checks. And let me show you what it actually shows in here. So we'll go check now. Yes, that's fine. So we'll go check now, and it should scan each system and then show us what is happening with the car. And there it is, we have a full report right after. No OBD faults found in this vehicle. It did scan a lot of different items on each system. So this will be like different items within the module. I hope we can see those individually. So we'll get there in just a minute. So, well, let's just jump into the in-depth check. So we're going to click on that. As you can see, it has figured out that this is a BMW, so it's downloading the configuration for this vehicle, or for at least this type of vehicle. That way we don't have to have a lot of data on the phone. If you're only using it on a certain vehicle or make and model of vehicle, you don't have to download a bunch of stuff on your phone. All right, it's downloaded the file, and now it's going to check the vehicle. Pretty cool animations here while it's checking the vehicle. So you can see the powertrain, the transmission stuff, the steering and brakes. So it's checking all of the modules, but it's kind of showing you in a much nicer way than a lot of regular scanners would do. So it makes it a lot more user-friendly. And it did find 4 faults in this car. So let's check those out. We can go back actually. And since this is an electric vehicle, it does not have information for the engine. Kind of interesting. Nothing for the powertrain as well. Well, this car doesn't have a transmission, so that makes a lot more sense. Nothing for the steering and brakes. That's a little bit surprising. But we did find information on some of the safety and comfort modules and on a few other ones, which actually include this EME. So let's see what those fault details are. And there it is. So now it's showing me the cooling not possible messages and a few other ones. So this module actually has some issues, and these are historical issues, so may not be a current issue. But let's see, what if we clear all of those? Yes, we acknowledge it. We're going to confirm, and we're going to clear the module faults. So that's kind of the difference between a very standard OBD2 scanner and let's say this one that's a little bit more advanced. It allows you to see module specific items and then clear those codes. So if you remember from the standard OBD2 check, we did not have any issues, right? No codes. But then when we did the more advanced one, it actually found it on a specific module. I am a little disappointed that it was not able to find, for example, the electric motor module. I know that's possible with some other scanners, but obviously those are like $200, $300, $400. So that kind of makes sense. Going back to this menu, we also have smog check and battery check. Well, I'm not going to show you those on this vehicle as, well, this is an electric vehicle, so there's not much to show here. And the battery check, this will be the standard battery, not the EV battery check. So yeah, not much to show, so I'm going to skip over this part. From the main screen, we have a lot of data here, but what's important here is if you go to Application Center, you can actually see all of the functionality that this can do. So these are the diagnostic tests that we can do. So this is OBD2 full function. We have trouble scanning, in-depth check, live data, smog check, and all those things. So basically a lot of the stuff that we saw in the previous menu, but it's kind of, you can see and go to individual one instead of having to do a full car check. Pretty nice to see. And here we have the DIY corner. So this is going to be the smart dash and things like that. So smart dash, you basically select whichever dash you want. So for example, this one, and then you would put this however you want to put it on your dash, right? Like a phone holder. And then as you're driving, you're going to get all of this information coming from your OBD2 port. So the car will report to the phone, and then the phone will display it here. Actually pretty nice to see if you're running some troubleshooting, you want to see your RPM or speed or temperature, things like that at a glance. Very easy to do so. We also have performance tests, so it will allow you to do like timed acceleration and top speed and engine load, and you can compare it then to see where your engine was at a certain speed at a certain time and how warm it got and things like that. But let's go back to OBD2 full functionality and see what we can actually get from this part, because we haven't actually looked in that. We mostly looked into the in-depth check and the trouble scanning. And there it is. So it's going to ask us which protocol we want to use. I don't know. So I'm just going to hit auto scan. And now it has scanned the vehicle. There's 4 modules that can actually report live data for us. So the first one right here. And this is basically the standard OBD2 functionality, except now we have more modules. So you can do the trouble codes, you can read your trouble codes, nothing in here, okay? And then we can do live data, so you can see all of the PIDs that are available on this module. There it is right there. So for example, you can just select stuff just like that, hit next, and then we're going to have all of that live information displayed on our phone just like that. And then of course we have a few different modules in here. So if you go into this one, for example, you will notice that a lot of the PIDs are very different in here because this is a different module. So that's kind of what gives you the benefit of getting the Pro. You're allowed to see more modules than just the engine. And here, if you look at absolute position for the throttle, so I'm going to press the throttle pedal right now. Look at that. There you go. It's updating as I'm pressing or releasing the pedal. And we also have live data. So if you didn't like the more PID focused one, where it kind of just shows you a lot of the information you may not be very familiar with, this gives you a much better interface to see what's happening with the vehicle. And you can click here to check more sensor data, and you're going to have all of the available live data that you can select. Once again, you can just select them as you wish, hit next, and then it's presented for you right there. A couple more items in here is the component test. So if you go in here, depending on the vehicle, but you can test stuff like airflow sensor, the fuel correction control system, or the throttle carbon buildup. And the last thing is the maintenance light reset. So if you go start maintenance, running maintenance, It's gonna find whatever's available on your vehicle. On this one, there might not be anything actually, because once again, it's an electric vehicle, but mostly it's gonna be stuff like oil change. So if you change the oil, you can go in and it will allow you to reset that. So here's some of the vehicles that are supported for the 20 pin. And if we go to OBD2 16 pin, you have to manually select it. And for example, it'd be like I series here, or you can do your 3 series, then select the chassis that you have, and then you'll be able to reset your oil change. On this i3, it actually doesn't support it. And that's pretty much it for this device. I really like that it has this very nice interface and shows you a lot of the information quickly. I also really like that it can do more than those $30, $40, $50, $60 scanners. Of course, I don't really like that you have to, register your email and register the device to your phone. So I'm not really sure if I were to switch phones, how would that work? Do I have to sign in again? Do I have to re-register it? That's kind of inconvenient, I would say. It also doesn't do coding or bidirectional functionality or anything like that, but it does offer you scanning of multiple systems and modules within the system without having to get a very expensive device. My other favorite part about this unit is that it's very user-friendly, so it's super easy to use. Even if you never used one before, you can use one of these advanced scanning functions or Indepth Check, and it will tell you what's happening with the vehicle. It's also pretty stable. I've been using it for a while. No issues whatsoever, so that's very nice. It doesn't disconnect from your car or from your phone or anything like that, so it's using Bluetooth 5, which is nice to see. If you're not interested in the pretty pictures and the convenient interface, but are looking for a more nitty-gritty information specific to the module, or want to see live data specific to the module, or you need to do actuation tests or things like that, I do have a couple of videos on other XTOOL devices, actual like physical devices that you can check out here or here. Those are going to be much better for you if you run a shop or have multiple vehicles or like to get really in depth into those modules. Of course, if you would like to learn more about this XTOOL AD20 Pro, check out the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.